Welcome to the KZGN News. Today we'll bring you city news, news of a visit by Pac Fleet Commander to China Lake, then more news from China Lake, gas prices, and much more.
From the Rademacher Hills to Bee Mountain and the mighty Sierras, Ridgecrest to Inyokern and China Lake, this is your news for the Indian Wells Valley with the KZGN News crew.
Thanks for joining us for the news. I'm Tom Wicknick. Here's news affecting Ridgecrest and the Indian Wells Valley. In city news, the Oversight Board to the City of Ridgecrest Successor Redevelopment Agency will hold a special meeting in the City Council chambers Monday, September 21st at 6 p.m. In compliance with Senate Bill 343, Oversight Board agenda and corresponding writings are available for public inspection at the following locations. First, the City of Ridgecrest at City Hall. Next, at the Kern County Library. And finally, there's a copy available at the City of Ridgecrest official website at http Ridgecrest, California. For those that don't know what that agency is, here's a quick description. For years, the City of Ridgecrest had a redevelopment agency. This agency had broad authority to make investments in the city for various things. A couple years ago, the state abolished RDAs. When they did so, they had to establish another agency to oversee the city's obligations of projects and how they got paid. So this Oversight Board is the state agency that watches over the city. The board has to approve all actions taken by the city and then forward any actions to the State Department of Finance. The Department of Finance has a responsibility to make sure all former RDA projects are done and paid for. That's a real simplified description of this board and their importance to the city. On the agenda, the following items will be handled. First, they'll swear in new members. Under discussion and other action items, they'll review and approve the recognized obligation payment schedule for 2015-16B of the former Ridgecrest Redevelopment Agency and approval of Resolution 15-01. The staff has prepared the Ridgecrest Redevelopment Successor Agency Recognized Obligations Payment Schedule and is recommending approval by the Ridgecrest Successor Agency Oversight Board, and is optioned by resolution to forward to the State of California Department of Finance. The City Council, acting as the Ridgecrest Redevelopment Agency Successor Agency, at its regular meeting of September 16th, reviewed and approved the ROPS and its submission to the Department of Finance by passing of a resolution. The ROPS is for the period of January 1st, 2016 through June 30th of 2016. Next, they'll consider approving a resolution for the transfer of real property held in public interest by the Ridgecrest Redevelopment Successor Agency over to the City of Ridgecrest. The Oversight Board to the Ridgecrest Redevelopment Successor Agency at their meeting of April 30th, 2012, authorized the reversion of certain properties held in the public interest to the City of Ridgecrest. The former Ridgecrest Redevelopment Agency held title to several properties within the former project area. In accordance with the Health and Safety Code, that property is to be disposed of with the proceeds being reallocated to the taxing agencies. One notable exception to this process applies to property held in the public interest. Staff believes Upjohn Park is subject to this provision. In order for the title to revert to the city under this exemption, approval by the Oversight Board and review by the California State Department of Finance is required. Staff recommends approval to initiate and complete the related transactions for the following property, which quitclaim deeds are in process. Upjohn Park. The City of Ridgecrest is responsible for a public park system for the benefit of the public. In recognition of the city's need to meet the public needs and demands for recreational facilities, the redevelopment agency purchased this land with a clear and well-documented intent of using the property as additional park space to mitigate the existing void. This property is intended to serve a public purpose, and staff believes the property falls within the exemption criteria set forth in the legislation. Again, that meeting will be next Monday. And by the way, don't forget that right after the news, you can still make it down to the City Council chambers to attend their regular meeting. The meeting starts at 6 o'clock. In news from the Naval Weapons Station, we get this report from Courtney Pollock from the NOC-WD Public Affairs Office. They reported that the Pac Fleet Commander visited China Lake recently. Pac Fleet Commander Admiral Scott Swift talked about the importance of people and relationships in accomplishing the mission during an all-hands call at the NAS China Lake All Faith Chapel on September 9th. During the all-hands, he talked about technology and its importance to the fleet, commending the Weapons Division for its contributions and innovative history. We want to take that innovative entrepreneurial spirit that's always been a part of China Lake in developing great warfighting capabilities and transplant that philosophy into other parts of the Navy. While at China Lake, Swift also met with the command leadership for in-depth discussions about what NOC-WD does for the fleet. This was a great exchange of information from the PAC side to the NOC side. And in more China Lake news, we get this news from Stacy Bailey from the NOC-WD Public Affairs Office. In May, Naval Air Warfare Center Weapons Divisions welcomed Kurt Rockwell as the command's newest unmanned systems director. My goal is to make sure that we have and execute a robust strategy for our UXS at NOC-WD, Rockwell said. When people look at our organization, I want them to say that that's the place to go for UXS work. I want us to be the center of excellence for really building capabilities into UXS platforms and being able to test them for deployment. When Rockwell first came to NOC-WD in 2002, he worked with the Air Vehicle Modification and Instrumentation Group for 7 years, which earned him the Test and Evaluations Director Award in 2007. Following this tenure, he joined the Weapons and Energetics Department in the Tactical Weapons Technical Project Office, leading a joint capability technology demonstration called Medusa for 3 years. I went from leading project managers doing development of instrumentation systems for test and evaluation of weapons into a role where I was leading a team that was developing a weapon, a launcher, and the avionics for a helicopter platform and all the integration of all those systems. Rockwell said this work was a cooperative development project with the Agency for Defense Development of the Republic of South Korea. It was very different from anything I'd ever done, but that made it a phenomenal experience. I'm really proud of the technological and programmatic work we did. After his time in tactical weapons, Rockwell applied for and was selected to be the Associate Director of Business Operations for the Threat Target Systems Department. In this role, he managed the competency side of the organization, people, resources, and facilities, the department's strategic planning process, and was responsible for the department's cybersecurity efforts. I had a cohort who ran the programmatic side of things, and the two of us supported the director, Rockwell said. I've had several opportunities to learn and be submerged in a new world, new exciting business, new directed and talented people, new terminology, and much more with each position I've held. Rockwell is a third-generation NOC-WD employee who grew up in Ridgecrest. He earned a mechanical engineering degree from the University of California, Davis, and obtained a master's from UCLA. Prior to working at the Weapons Division, he spent 16 years in the precision motion and automation industry working in sales, marketing, and operations management positions. He spent time as a substitute teacher at all grade levels and is in his 9th year as a member of the Sierra Sands School Board. In my role so far, I've been working to understand all the pieces of NOC-WD and what it does with regard to UXX in order to develop a clear strategy that will make it all work together, Rockwell said. I've been blessed to work with talented and dedicated professionals throughout the command to craft that vision. I'm thankful and honored to have been able to transition an exciting career working with automated systems in industry to developing and applying automated systems in the battlefield to support our warfighters. Now, in more news about China Lake, NOC-WD, and Burroughs High School, we get this news from Stacy Bailey from the NOC Public Affairs Office. The Naval Air Warfare Center Weapons Division recently invited a Burroughs High School teacher aboard Naval Air Weapons Station China Lake in an effort to enhance community collaboration and build a stronger pipeline for jobs. Wanting to better her curriculum and gain a better understanding of the opportunities that exist for her students on base, metal shop instructor Cabria Davies immersed herself in a crash course on the workings of the machine shop within the Applied Manufacturing Technology Division from July 27th to August 7th. For a semester, I had help from the previous metal shop instructor, Davis said. For the past year and a half, however, I've been on my own. Rapidly taking on pages upon pages of notes, Davies came away learning the basics of general CNC machine programming, welding techniques, as well as how to create flat pattern layouts of sheet metal parts. Other areas of exposure included water jet cutting, inspection processes, and heat treatments. In doing so, she gained inspiration to develop some pretty cool project ideas for her students. I've got a couple of plans to edit my curriculum, Davies said. I will be adding in things and moving things around, which will help a lot. Not only that, I appreciate seeing how the apprentice program works and what's required in the application process. I really think I'll be able to help my students get there, and we'll be able to slowly, over time, start bringing in people to the base. The apprentice program gives applicants the opportunity to get on-the-job training at NUC-WD that may lead to full-time employment. Applicants must be at least 18 years old, currently enrolled as a high school senior, or have at least 6 units from an accredited educational institution with a minimum of 2.5 GPA. We want to hire locally, Division Head Ken Hayes said. It just makes sense to connect with the local school system by having that dialogue through tours or having teachers here for periods of time. With events like the one we had with Cabria, we can communicate what this organization looks like, means, and does. This means we'd have a higher chance of connecting with students who ultimately have an interest in working here as a career. Davies' tour comes after the visit to the machine shop with her students in May 2014, as well as several visits from the Weapons Division welders to her classroom at Burroughs. Her emphasis in college was in woodshop, so teaching metal class has been a new experience for her. I'm a full-time metal shop teacher now, and that's exciting, Davies said. Teaching metal shop has been a very long uphill battle, and I have a lot to learn. It's going to take me a really long time, but the district is very patient. Thankfully, I've got a ton of help from Ron Pruitt and the base. Gabriel started teaching 2 years ago at Burroughs and entered into her 3rd school year this August. She is a graduate of Brigham Young University with a degree in technology and engineering education. Ron Pruitt is the head of the Systems Assembly branch and served as the principal point of contact for Davies' visit. For more information about the apprentice program, contact coordinator Wendy Regland at wendy.regland@navy.mil. KZGN wants to thank the Public Affairs Office at China Lake for providing this information. Since so many people's lives here revolve around China Lake, it's great that we can pass on their information on things going on out there. Now, in KZGN's continuous effort to provide news and information you've asked for, here are today's gas prices for Ridgecrest and some surrounding areas. Well, since my last report on Monday, gas prices continue a slow decrease. Ridgecrest's lowest price fell another 2 cents since Wednesday. As of this morning, Ridgecrest is ranging from $3.09 to $3.39. Lancaster's going from $3.05 to $3.59. The LA Valley area is $3.05 to $3.27. And the Bishop area $3.65 to $3.75. We have 2 stations coming in at the $3.09 figure and 3 stations at the $3.11 amount. I expect these will continue to drop. Tune in Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays for updates. We at KZGN always suggest you shop locally to support our local economy. Remember, when you pay sales tax out of town, you are helping those cities pave their streets instead of here. Stay tuned for weather and sports when we come back. Thanks for staying with us. Let's go to Keith for the weather.
Thank you, Tom. From the National Weather Service, higher than normal temperatures across the nation, in some parts 10 to 20 degrees difference. Temperatures across the nation. Carolinas came in at 77, Georgia 73, Arkansas 78, Northern Texas 76, Arizona 82, and Los Angeles 69. For our forecast here in the IWV, tonight mostly clear with a low around 60 degrees, west-southwest wind 20 to 25 miles per hour. Thursday, sunny with a high near 88, west-southwest wind 5 miles per hour. Thursday night, mostly clear with a low around 63, south-southwest wind 5 miles per hour. Friday, sunny with a high near 93, east-northeast wind 5 miles per hour. Friday night, mostly clear with a low around 66, east wind 5 miles per hour. Saturday, sunny with a high near 97, west-southwest wind 5 miles per hour. Saturday night, clear with a low around 67, east wind 5 miles per hour. Sunday, sunny with a high near 98, west-southwest wind 5 miles per hour. Sunday night, mostly clear with a low around 68, calm wind 5 miles per hour out of the west-southwest. And on Monday, sunny with a high near 99, west-southwest wind 5 miles per hour. And that is your forecast for the IWV. Now back to Tom and the rest of the KZGN News.
Thanks, Keith. Let's go to Tom Heck with sports.
And a very pleasant Wednesday afternoon to everyone. Major League Baseball really winding down. If you're a baseball fan, this is like a smorgasbord this time of year of fun and watching the TV. A lot of races still up in the air, mainly in the American League. The Angels last night got a win in Seattle. So the Angels find themselves today only 4 games behind the Texas Rangers. Yes, I said the Texas Rangers. The Rangers have overtaken the Houston Astros. The first time all season long the Rangers have been in first place. At one time, the Rangers were 16 games under 500. They're now 10 games over 500. Boy, what a turnaround for that team. And then the Houston Astros, kind of everyone's favorite after being in last place the last 4 years in a row. I mean, dead last place, 100-game losers, are starting to fall apart a wee bit. So right now, though, the Astros have the wild card, the second wild card. The Yankees have the first wild card, with the Angels and the Twins right behind the Rangers. So it's going to be very interesting to see what happens the next 2 weeks, and that's about all we got left of baseball. All right, Cincinnati beat San Francisco last night in 10 innings. The Giants missed a golden opportunity to gain ground on the Dodgers. The Dodgers end up losing in 16 innings last night to Colorado by a score of 5-4. Now in that game, both teams combined to use 58 players. That's probably near a record for the most amount of players to play in one game. Also, in the Angel game last night, Mike Trout started to turn around, hit his 36th home run of the year. David Murphy also hit a 3-run home run. Felix Hernandez got the loss. Mike Tropiano got the win. It seems like Felix Hernandez struggles against the Angels. Not many other teams, but against the Angels he has. Boy, David Murphy, 3-run jack, that was really the difference. Angels hang on to win. Arizona won last night. They beat the Padres. St. Louis keeps their lead over the Pirates. They're up by 3 in the East. They beat Milwaukee last night. Detroit beats Minnesota. Minnesota and the Angels and Cleveland fighting for a wild card spot, all right behind the Houston Astros, as mentioned. Detroit last night in that game got 10 hits to beat the Twins. Tampa Bay beat the Yankees, and Atlanta beats Toronto, so no gain there. 3-game lead still for Toronto. The Yankees, the number 1 wild card spot. And Kansas City beat Cleveland. Kansas City really not playing that well. Cleveland now 1 game under 500. Cleveland a game and a half behind the Angels. So the Indians kind of also in the mix for that last wild card spot. All right, Miami beat the Mets and Washington won, so that lead is 8.5 now over in the East. Now, breaking the standings down, St. Louis 3 games over the Pirates, LA Dodgers 7.5 over the Giants. They do still have 3 games against each other in San Francisco. The Mets and Washington still have 3 games against each other in New York. Toronto beat the Yankees, or 3 games over the Yankees. Those teams have 3 games left in Toronto. Kansas City well over the Twins. It doesn't much matter. And the Rangers a half a game, as mentioned, over the Astros. Those teams have 3 games left after these series are playing right now in Houston. This weekend, the Angels and the Twins, 4 games up in Minneapolis. That's going to be something. Then the Angels go to Houston. So you've got games against teams that are right near you, above you, or just under you in the standings. And what that means is you control your own destiny. The Angels, by the way, conclude their season in Arlington against the Rangers. 4 games, the last 4 games, in early October. So put your seatbelt on, baseball fans. It's an awful lot of fun. Burroughs football Friday night with Paraclete. More about that tomorrow. For KZGN, I'm Tom Heck. Have a very pleasant Wednesday afternoon.
So that's the news for today. Office of KZGN-TV know you have a choice in what you watch for your news. And we thank you for choosing KZGN-TV, Ridgecrest's only locally owned community TV station. And stay with us for Ridgecrest Talk, coming up next.